Hi everyone, welcome to my sewing studio. Today we are going to talk about the history of picture smocking. First, let me introduce myself. I'm Lisa from Pink Holly Bush Designs, where we talk all things sewing and smocking. So what is picture smocking? Well, picture smocking is taking the cable stitch in smocking, stacking them one upon each other to create a solid swath of color and therefore form a picture. So let me show you an example. Here is a little whale plate from Pink Holly Bush, and you can see the design that's stitched on there. Now, smocking dates back to the Middle Ages, and if you're interested in knowing a little bit more about the history of traditional English smocking, I have a video on that, and I will link to it above. But picture smocking is relatively new. In fact, first we sort of see it showing up at all is in the 1920s. By the 1950s, you're seeing it a little bit more, and it really takes off in the 70s and 80s. So let's dive in, and I'll give you a little history. So the first time we see it showing up, as I mentioned, is in the 1920s, and it's in this little book called How to Do Smocking that was published by Grace Knott in Canada. And in this book, for the first time, we see somebody taking that cable stitch and stacking them one upon each other. I don't know if you can see that, to form what she calls a cable diamond. And the cable diamond, as I said, is using that mirror image where you're putting the up cables against the other up cables and the down cables against the other down cables. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, but you're interested in knowing more about smocking, I have a whole Get Started Smocking video. I will also link to that. So as I mentioned, for the first time in Grace Knott's book in the 1920s, we see this stacked cable diamond showing up. Now in the 1950s, Cella Thornton in her book, also published in Canada. You can see there on the cover, you see those diamonds formed by stacking the cable stitch. But for the first time, she also took those diamonds. Let me show you. So here she's some more of those diamonds, but over here it's in black and white. Might be hard for you to see it. But over here, she is used that stacked cable to form a basket. And then she put all embroidered flowers inside of the basket. On the next page, you get really the first official picture smock design. There you see the 3 sailboats, right? And it's the cable stitch that forms the boat. The other thing that we also see for the first time in this little design is you see the 3 sailboats side by side. And it is very popular in picture smock designs to have those 3 objects all identical side by side. I don't know if this is where it comes from, but it's sort of the first place that it's showing up. With the renewed interest in smocking in the 1970s and 1980s, you started then seeing all kinds of smocked designs show up, picture smock designs, and they were published on independent plates like this, and they still are, that you can purchase that show you how to create these designs. And there's an example of 3 items side by side, as I mentioned. In 1990, Ellen McCarn published Picture Smocking with Ellen McCarn. And this is really the first time you see detailed instruction on how to do picture smocked designs. She walked readers through step by step how to form those stacked cables. And here you'll see an example of that. See how they're like a brick pattern, one on top of the other, to create that perfect picture smocked design. If you're interested in giving this a try. I do have also one more video for you you want to try and take a look at, and that is 10 tips for how to perfect your picture smocking. So go check out that video, and I hope that you will give picture smocking a try, because there is nothing cuter than a little toddler in an adorable picture smocked outfit, such as this little John with little whale. Happy smocking.